what happens in your brain is it begins to wire itself shut to that problem. Hello guys, it's a beautiful Monday morning and I know that a lot of us are on our way to work, but I just figured that I'd say something that came to mind quickly. One of the things that limits us human beings from achieving what can be described as our potential or reaching new heights or new discoveries in our minds or in our careers is the way we speak, the way we approach problems. Okay, now when you're faced with a problem and the first thing you say is, I can't do this, or I literally cannot do this, or this is too hard for me, what happens in your brain is it begins to wire itself shut to that problem. When you tell yourself that you are incapable of doing something, your body will literally shut down to that thing. That is just how much our words are linked to our abilities, to our brains, to, essential parts of our beings. So there's this book by this author, I can't remember. The name of the book is called Psycho-Cybernetics. It was recommended to me by a friend. And that book, the author says, he's a psychologist. The author says that when you say you cannot do something, your brain is literally wired to make sure that every single neural pathway that can possibly bring you solutions to that problem are shut down. It will be much more beneficial for you to say that you haven't figured something out quite yet, or that this thing is taking a bit more time, or that you're learning something. It will be much more beneficial for you to say that than to go ahead and say that you do not know how to do something. Because when you say that, you are literally telling your body, you're literally telling your brain, we don't want to know how to do this. We are done, okay? So it is important that when you're faced with a problem, you approach it differently. Okay, you approach it with a sense of curiosity. You do not shut it down completely, because there is quite literally no problem that your brain cannot solve. Your brain is literally a problem-solving machine. It is what it was made to do. So every time you're faced with a problem, or the next time that you're faced with a problem, try saying, I haven't quite figured this out yet. And then let your brain try to do the figuring out. Instead of saying, I cannot do this, I'm not good at this, tell yourself you're still learning. There is a difference between something that is difficult and something that is new. Just because you haven't figured it out quite yet does not mean that you cannot figure it out. You can quite figure it out if you just give yourself the chance to. So go ahead with your day today with enough optimism and approach your problems differently, and we might start to see that things might be better suited to move in our favor. Bye guys, have a good one.